I'm Jennifer Angel. This is my planetary overview for the week of September the 14th. Now, on the 13th, we have the lunar eclipse, so it's like a new moon, but a partial eclipse, so it's got an extra boost to it in the sign of Virgo. So there's a lot happening in Virgo at the moment this year, really, because Jupiter sits in Virgo, for a year. Just entered about a month ago, so there's going to be a lot of transits coming off Jupiter right through this year. So this is a great time with the solar eclipse, the new moon in Virgo, just to get yourself organized. I'm sure I mentioned this to you last week, because Virgo is a very organized sign, so it's a great time really just to set your plans in place. What have you achieved so far this year? Perhaps you need to make an alteration to your plans. Sometimes what we set at the start of the year, what we desire to achieve, we can change our mind a little bit through the year, and that's all okay. So you just need to make an adjustment. So we're leading up now for the last 3.5 months of the year, and it's a great time to just reset, what you want to achieve by the end of the year, and be realistic. And in Virgo, it does help you be realistic. However, this week on the 17th, there is a opposition between Jupiter in Virgo and Neptune. So this can set up a little bit of an overly optimistic view on life, a bit idealistic, which I like personally, because I think it's great to sort of get out of the seriousness of life, even occasionally, and just think big, get rid of all the what ifs, what if you had no limitations, what would you do? Now, of course, Neptune is a very intuitive planet, energy of Neptune, and it's a very imaginative energy, and it's in the intuitive sign of Pisces. So we can really got a little bit of idealism going on here, which is great, just connected with the new moon, because you can really just put yourself out there and think, if there were no limitations, what could I do? And I always think that is a great starting point. And then, of course, life is full of compromises, because you do one thing, you have to give up another. So you may not want to do that. So that's where the compromise comes in. Like, what is giving up? B. Okay. Is the desire to have A worth giving up B? That's what I'm trying to say. I'm sure you know what I mean. And that's where the compromise comes in. So if you start from that idealistic point of view, then start to sort of bring it back and say, okay, well, then we can fine tune and individualize it to you, all right? Now, Mercury, on the same day, Mercury is going retrograde. Final retrograde for the year. Hooray. And I must say, it's not one of my most favorite transits, but it does have its benefits, like everything in life. Now, Mercury is sitting in the sign of Libra. Now, Libra is ruled by Venus, so it's very much about getting some balance in your life, and it's very much about relationships too. So you want to be a little bit careful over this period when Mercury is retrograde. It's easier to have misunderstandings or mix-up, particularly with communication. So you want to be a little bit careful about how you approach what could be a sensitive discussion, and it's going to relate to a different area of life for each and every star sign, and we'll go through that in a minute with your individual reports. Now, it's on the 17th, so really kicks in like pretty well at the start of the week. I mean, some astrologers will say like a week before and after. But most certainly, the closer that you get to the stationary part of the transit, where it's just about to turn stationary direct or stationary retrograde, as it is at this point, In my mind, it's those like 2 or 3 days either side. They're the days that are really the most disruptive, and that is called, it's actually termed in astro terms as the storm. So that pretty well says it, doesn't it? So if you've really got something you need to get signed, sealed, and settled, or a sensitive discussion, I would be wanting to do that over this weekend or real early in the week, okay, to avoid any sort of mix-up. Put everything in writing. Always a good idea to do that anyway, because as another astrologer friend of mine always says, Mercury's Mercury, regardless of whether he's retrograde or not. He's quite mischievous anyway. So yeah, keep that in mind. But during the Mercury retrograde period is a great time just for planning, researching, getting organized, getting your thoughts together, cleaning out, really getting your affairs in order, okay? It's not particularly a great time to start and initiate. It's a better time to get all your loose ends and get things tidied up. But, as I say, Mercury retrograde does not always wait. Your life doesn't always wait till Mercury is out of retrograde, so sometimes you just have to go ahead, okay? And in that case, if you are signing a contract, if you are initiating something, you want to just put that little bit or a lot extra attention to detail, all right? In there, don't gloss over anything, and make sure everyone knows what their role is and what they're accountable for. As I said, great to put everything in writing. That way it really is, that way you do really cover yourself, all right? Now, and directly after that, so it's all happening towards the end of the week, this week, we've got Saturn is going to make a move finally back into Sagittarius. It did make a move out of Scorpio about 3 months ago, and then it went back. So it's been like hovering backwards and forwards over this 29 degree for some time now. So it's back in Scorpio. It really gave us all a chance to re-look at anything in our lives that and more particularly our attitude to what's happening, because it's really generally not what's happening in our life which is the issue. It's our attitude towards it, okay? And in Scorpio, it's really a much deeper energy where you can go sort of deep inside of yourself and get some answers, okay? So I hope that we all did that. I certainly have had a little bit of a soul-searching time. And it's sitting right on my Saturn return, so I've got some changes coming up, good ones too, which I'll reveal to you in time. And now as it moves into the sign of Sagittarius, it's going to sit there for a couple of years, and it's a much lighter energy, but it's also an energy where it can help us get inspired about what it is in life we really want to do. Like, what's our true purpose? I actually have a session, an astrological session I do, including in the chart analysis about your soul purpose, because I think it's really important for us to get in touch with that. All those big questions like, who are we? What are we doing here? Why are we here? And often it's linked into, I find that there's a thread, as if you believe in reincarnation, which I do, there's a thread often through your life. I'm not a past life reader, but I've had past life readings, and it's interesting if you find someone who's recommended to do a past life reading, you'll find that there's generally a thread that goes through your life of what you do, a similarity, and I find that quite helpful to know. All right, so during this next couple of years with Saturn in Sagittarius, you can really get inspired, but inspired about, because the Sagittarian energy is very inspirational, but really inspired about what you want to do. What difference are you making in the world, okay? And the world can be small or it can be large, but the Sagittarian energy ruled by Jupiter, it's a larger vision, so it allows you really to get out of the minute detail, have a larger vision, and Saturn, being more of a planet of reality, helps you put those plans actually into action and turning them into reality. So I like this transit. It's nice. Okay, so love and luck to everybody. I hope it's going to be a great week. I hope you do find some time to do some little bit of soul searching and some planning too, and particularly over this next 3 weeks. Mercury is retrograde. Mercury is going to be retrograde right through to, it's going to come out of that transit of October the 10th. Then it's going to come out of that shadow period, which is the time it takes to get back to the degree where it commenced, when it started to go retrograde on October the 24th. But, we're pretty well clear by the 15th of October. If you want to really, sign or start something, I'd leave it a couple of days after the 10th. Once again, we've got that destructive storm energy on the turn, okay? All right, have a great week. I'll get going now and do the individual reports. Thanks so much for watching, and see you again soon. Bye for now.